Hey guys, and in today's video I'm back with Matilda. So yeah, today I'm going to be reading chapter 2, and if you want to hear Lola reading Fergus the Friendly Puppy, then make sure to go and check out her video. So let's get on with the video. So, I'm going to be reading a chapter every night, as you might already know. So yeah, if you want to hear chapter 1 of this, go and check out my other video if you haven't already. And let's get on with reading my book. So, yeah. Last night was a long chapter, so yeah. Okay, so the next chapter is called Mr. Wormwood's The Great Car Dealer. So, Matilda's parents owned quite a nice house with 3 bedrooms upstairs, while on the ground floor there was a dining room, a living room, a kitchen. Her father was a dealer in second-hand cars, and it seemed he did pretty well at it. Sawdust, he would say proudly, is one of the great secrets of my success, and it costs me nothing. I get it free from the sawmill. What do you use it for? Matilda asked. Ha, the father said. Wouldn't you like to know? I don't see how sawdust can help you sell second-hand cars, Daddy. That's because you're an ignorant little twit, the father said. His speech was never very delicate, but Matilda was used to it. She also knew that he liked to boast, and she would egg him on shamelessly. You must be very clever to find a use for something that costs nothing, she said. I wish I could do it. You couldn't, the father said. You're too stupid, but I don't mind telling young Mike here about it. See, he'll be joining me in the business one day. Ignoring Matilda, he turned to his son and said, I'm always glad to buy a car when some fool has been crashing the gears so badly they're all worn out and rattle like mad. I get it cheap. Then all I do is mix a lot of sawdust with the oil in the gearbox and it runs sweet as a nut. How long will it run like that before it starts rattling again? Matilda asked him. Long enough for the bike to get a good distance away, the father said, grinning. About 100 miles. But that's dishonest, Daddy, Matilda said. It's cheating. No one ever got rich being honest, the father said. Customers are there to be diddled. Mr. Wormwood was a small, ratty-looking man whose front teeth stuck out underneath thin, ratty moustache. He liked to wear jackets with a large, brightly moustache. He liked to wear jackets. Coloured checks, and he sported ties that were usually yellow or pale green. Now take mileage for instance, he went on. Anyone who's buying a second-hand car, the first thing he wants to know is how many miles it's done, right? Right, said the son. So, I bought an old dump that's got about 150,000 miles on the clock. I get it cheap, but no, No one's going to buy it with a mileage like that, are they? In these days, you can't just take a speed meter out and fiddle numbers back like you used to, like you used to 10 years ago. They fixed it so it's impossible to tamper with it unless you're a ruddy watchmaker or something. So, what do I do? Asked my brains laddie. That's what I do. How? Young Mitchell asked, fascinated. He seemed to have inherited his father's love of crockery. I sit down and say to myself, how can I convert a mileage reading 150,000 into only 10,000 without taking the speedometer to pieces? Well, if I were to run the car backwards for long enough, then obviously that would do it. The number of the clicks backwards, wouldn't they? But who's going to drive the flaming car in reverse for thousands and thousands of miles? You couldn't do it. Of course you couldn't, young Mitchell said. So I scratched my head, the father said. I use my brains when you've given a fine brain. I use my brains when you've been given a fine brain like that. I have. You've got it too. Use it. I felt exactly like the other brilliant fellow. I feel like that other brilliant fellow must have felt when he discovered penicillin. So, Eureka! I cried. I've got it! What did you do, Dad? The son asked him. The speedometer, Mr. Walmart said. It's run off a cable that is in a coupled up to one of the front wheels. So first I disconnected the cable where it joins the front wheel. Next I get one of those high-speed electric drills and a couple that up to the end of the cable, such a way that when the drill turns, it turns the cable backwards. You got me so far. Are you following me? Yes, Daddy, young Mitchell said. These drills run at a tremendous speed, the father said. So when I switch on the drill, the mileage number on the speedo spins backwards at fantastic rate. I had knocked 50,000 miles off the clock in a few minutes with my high-speed electric drill. And by the time I finished, the car only done 10,000 and it's ready for sale. She's almost new, I say to the customer. She's hardly done 10,000. Belonged to an old lady who only used it once a week for shopping. Can you really turn the mileage back with an electric drill? young Mitchell said. I'm telling you trade secrets, the father said. So you don't want to talk about this to anyone else? You don't want me put in a jug, do you? I won't tell a soul, the boy said. Do you do this to many cars, Dad? Every single car that comes through my hands gets a treatment, the father said. They all have their mileage cut to under 10,000 before they're offered for added proudly. It made me a mint, Matilda, who had been listening closely, said. But Daddy, that's even more dishonest than sawdust. It's disgusting. You're cheating people who trust. If you don't like it, then don't eat the food. It's the house. If you don't like it, then don't eat the food in this house, the father said. It's bought with the profits. It's bought with the profits. It's dirty money, Matilda said. I hate two red spots appear on the father's cheeks. Who the heck do you think you are? He shouted. The Archbishop of Canterbury or something, preaching to me about honesty. You're just an ignorant little squirt who hasn't the foggiest idea what you're talking about. Quite right, Harry, the mother said. And to Matilda she said, you've got a nerve talking to your father like that. Now keep your nasty mouth shut so we can all watch this program in peace. They were living in a room. They were in the living room eating their suppers on their knees in front of the telly. The suppers were TV dinners in floppy aluminium containers with separate compartments for stew, the stewed meat, the boiled potatoes and the peas. Mr. Warwood sat munching her meal, with her eyes glued to the American soap opera on the screen. She was a large woman whose hair was dyed platinum blonde, except where you could see the mousy brown bits growing out the roots. She wore heavy makeup, and she had one of those unfortunate bulging figures where the flesh appears to be strapped in all around her body to prevent its falling out. Mommy, Matilda said, would you mind if I ate my supper in the dining room so I could read my book? The father glanced up sharply. I would mind, he snapped. So it's a family gathering and no one leaves the table until it's over. But we're not at the table, Matilda said. We never are. We're always eating off our knees and watching the telly. Little Dickens or Kipling, they would soon discover there was more to life than cheating people and watching the television. anything, she represented being told constantly that she was an ignorant and stupid when she knew she wasn't. The anger inside her went on the boiling and boiling, and she laid in bed that night. She made a decision. She decided that every time her father or her mother was beastly to her, she would get her own back in some way or another. A small victory or two would help her to tolerate their idiocy and would stop her from going crazy. You must remember that she is still small, and that to score points against an all-powerful grown-up. Even so, she was determined to have a go. Her father, after what happened in front of the telly that evening, was first on her list. Okay, so that is that for that chapter. Chapter 2. The next chapter is called The Hat and the Super Glue. So yeah, that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Remember, if you want to hear Lola reading Fergus the Friendly Puppy, then go and check out her video on this channel. And if you want to hear chapter 1, then go and check out that video if you haven't already on this channel. So yeah, bye guys!